The Girl with the Long Green Heart by Lawrence Block. Read by Alan Sklar.
Chapter 1. When the phone rang, I was shaving. I put my razor down and walked across the room to pick up the phone on the bedside table. A woman's voice said, "It's 8:30, Mr. Hayden." I thanked her and went back to finish shaving. I put on a plain white shirt and the good blue suit I had bought in Toronto. I picked out a dark blue tie with an unobtrusive below-the-knot design and tied it 3 times before I got the knot as small as I wanted it. I gave my shoes a brief rub-down with one of the hotel's hand towels, got the day's first cigarette going, and went over to my window to have a look at the city. It was my first real look at Olean. I'd gotten into town the night before on a puddle jump flight from Toronto to Buffalo to Olean. My cab ride in from the airport had been less than a scenic tour. At that hour, the city looked like any small town with everything closed. There were 2 movie houses, the Olean and the Palace, and one had already turned off its marquee. A few bars were open. I'd gone straight to the Olean house and straight to bed. Now, in daylight, the town still had little to set it apart. My room was on the 3rd of 4 floors, and my window looked out across North Union Street. The Olean Trust Company was directly across the street, flanked by a chain 5 and dime and a small drugstore. The street ran to 8 lanes, with cars parked at angles to the curb on both sides of the street. Most of the parking spaces were taken. On the extreme right, I could just see the Exchange National Bank building. It was 8 stories tall, twice as high as any of the buildings near it. Wallace Gunderman had an office in it on the 6th floor. I went downstairs. There were no messages for me. The gray-haired woman at the desk asked me if I would be staying another night. I said that I would. I picked up the local paper at the newsstand in the lobby and carried it into the hotel coffee shop. Businessmen and secretaries sat around drinking morning coffee. I took a table in front, near a group of lawyers who were discussing a hearing on a zoning ordinance. I ate scrambled eggs and bacon and drank black coffee and read everything of interest in the Olean Times-Herald. Gunderman's name kept cropping up. He was on a committee of the City Club. He was heading up the men's division of the United Fund campaign, that sort of thing. I had a second cup of coffee and signed the check. Outside, the air was warm and clear. I walked the length of the block, turned, and came back to the hotel. It was 9:30 when I got back to my room. I looked up Gunderman's number in the phone book and gave it to the hotel operator. A girl said, "Mr. Gunderman's office, good morning." "Mr. Gunderman, please." "May I ask who's calling?" "John Hayden. I represent the Barnstable Corporation." There was a very brief pause, a short intake of breath. "One moment, please," she said. "I'll see if Mr. Gunderman is in." I lit a cigarette while she saw if Mr. Gunderman was in. When he came on the line, he sounded younger than I had pictured him. His voice was deep and resonant. "Mr. Hayden? Wallace Gunderman. I don't believe I know you, do I?" "No," I said. "I'm representing the Barnstable Corporation, Mr. Gunderman, and I wondered if I could drop by and see you sometime this afternoon." "You're here in Olean?" "That's right." "Could you tell me what you want to see me about?" "Of course. It's our understanding, sir, that you own a fairly sizable tract of land in northern Alberta. Our corporation is a Toronto-based outfit interested in—" "Oh, so that's it." "Mr. Gunderman—" "Now you wait a minute, sir." He was a few decibels short of a full-fledged roar. "You must think I'm an awfully stupid man, Mr. Hayden. You must think that just because a man's been played for a sucker once, he can be raked over the same coals forever. I took a neat beating on that Canadian land. I made the mistake of listening to one of you smooth-talking Canuck salesmen, and I fell for his line like a ton of bricks. I shelled out one hell of a lot of money for some of the most useless land.